There are performers who make us laugh, and then there are those who make us feel something deeper through their laughter. Patricia Routledge was one of those rare artists who managed to do both. She was a force of quiet brilliance, a woman who didn't chase the spotlight but earned it through sheer talent, intelligence, and grace. Her career was not just about acting, it was about connection. She didn't simply perform. She reached into the human spirit and reflected it back through humor, warmth, and truth. Today, we celebrate her extraordinary life, her timeless performances, and the joy she brought to countless hearts across generations. Born on February 17, 1929, in Tranmere, Cheshire, Patricia Mary Routledge came from humble beginnings. Her father was a haberdasher, and her mother was a homemaker, a modest, working-class family who valued kindness, education, and hard work. Patricia's love for performance began early, shaped by the storytelling traditions around her and her natural gift for observation. At Birkenhead High School, teachers quickly saw something special in her, a clarity in her speech, a strength in her imagination, and an instinctive understanding of people. She went on to study English language and literature at the University of Liverpool, where she deepened her love for words and rhythm, unknowingly preparing for a career that would make her one of Britain's most beloved actresses. After university, she followed her heart into the theater, training at the prestigious Bristol Old Vic Theatre School. Those early years were full of discipline and learning. The stage demanded everything: precision, presence, vulnerability, and Patricia gave it all. She toured with repertory theaters, performing night after night, in small towns and big cities, mastering her craft the way only true artists do, through repetition, failure, and persistence. She learned how to command silence, how to draw laughter, and how to hold an audience's heart with nothing but her voice and presence. Her talent quickly became undeniable. By the 1950s and 1960s, Patricia Routledge was a respected figure on the British stage. Her voice was powerful, her timing impeccable, her ability to switch between comedy and drama nothing short of masterful. Whether performing Shakespeare's Measure for Measure or a musical comedy, she could make the audience forget they were watching a performance at all. And then, in 1968, came her breakthrough across the Atlantic. She starred on Broadway in Darling of the Day, a role that won her the Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical. It was international recognition of what Britain already knew, that Patricia Routledge was a once-in-a-generation performer. But her greatness never rested on fame or applause. She wasn't chasing celebrity. She was chasing truth. Every role she took on was an exploration of human emotion, of flaws, of humor. She treated acting as a calling, not a career. Her peers admired her discipline, her humility, and her refusal to compromise her artistic integrity. She brought to every role a rare combination of intellectual rigor and emotional authenticity. Then, in 1990, Patricia Routledge stepped into a role that would change television forever. Keeping Up Appearances premiered on the BBC, and the world met Hyacinth Bucket, or, as she would sternly remind everyone, bouquet. The show was a masterclass in British comedy, but it was Patricia who made it iconic. Hyacinth, with her desperate attempts to climb the social ladder, her obsession with refinement, and her constant mortification at her relatives' antics, became one of the most beloved comedic characters of all time. Under a lesser performer, Hyacinth might have been a caricature, but Patricia made her human. She didn't just make audiences laugh at Hyacinth, she made them understand her. Beneath the exaggerated manners and comic delusions was a woman longing for dignity, for respect, for acknowledgement. Patricia gave her that humanity, and it's what made the character unforgettable. Week after week, millions tuned in across the world to laugh with and at Hyacinth's misadventures. Keeping Up Appearances became an international hit, broadcast in over 60 countries, bringing British humor to living rooms from London to Nairobi to Sydney. The show didn't just entertain, it connected. Through Hyacinth's pretensions and vulnerabilities, audiences saw pieces of themselves, of their families, of their neighbors. Patricia Routledge made laughter feel universal. And even now, decades later, reruns continue to bring smiles to new generations who never knew life before streaming, but know that one woman's attempts to impress, the vicar, can still be comedy gold. Yet even at the height of her sitcom fame, Patricia Routledge never allowed herself to be boxed in. She moved from comedy to drama with seamless elegance, proving that her artistry knew no limits. In 1996, she took on the role of Hetty Wainthropp in Hetty Wainthropp Investigates, playing a retired housewife who becomes a private detective. The show was tender, grounded, and empowering. Hetty was no glamour icon. She was ordinary, relatable, real, but under Routledge's portrayal, she became extraordinary. She embodied intelligence, empathy, and quiet determination. For countless viewers, especially older women, Hetty Wainthropp was more than a character. She was representation. Patricia had once again given the world a figure to admire, not for perfection, but for perseverance. Throughout her career, Patricia Routledge's genius lay in her authenticity. She didn't perform to impress, she performed to express. She approached every role with deep respect for her audience. Her philosophy was simple: truth first, always. Whether on stage, on television, or in front of a microphone, she believed that honesty was the root of great storytelling. And that's what made her performances timeless. Her legacy extended far beyond performance. In recognition of her contributions to the arts, she was appointed a Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE, in 1993 and later made a Dame Commander, DB, in 2017. Those honors, however, barely captured what she meant to her fans and peers. She wasn't just a national treasure. She was a living symbol of artistic excellence. In an industry that often celebrates loudness and spectacle, Patricia Routledge was a quiet storm. She never sought attention, never chased trends, and never diluted her craft. She stood for quality, grace, and sincerity. Colleagues described her as gracious and fiercely intelligent. She carried herself with dignity, but without arrogance. Even in her comedic roles, she maintained elegance, proof that laughter and class can coexist beautifully. As the years went on, Patricia gradually stepped back from public life, choosing reflection over recognition. But her work continued to live and breathe, through reruns, through memories, through the generations of actors she inspired. Many comedians and dramatic performers today cite her as an influence, not because she was famous, but because she was real. She represented a standard of excellence rooted in craft and care. Her characters remain alive, eternal. Hyacinth's perfectly enunciated bouquet, Hetty's calm resilience, her stage work, her radio performances, all carry a piece of her spirit. Watching her perform, even now, feels like watching a masterclass in humanity. She had that rare ability to make the ordinary extraordinary, to take the smallest gestures, the subtlest pauses, and turn them into moments of brilliance. That's something no acting school can teach. That's pure gift. Patricia Routledge's story is more than the sum of her achievements. It's about the quiet dignity of doing something well, again and again, until it becomes timeless. It's about a woman who believed in excellence without ego. She proved that greatness doesn't always need to shout. Sometimes it whispers, softly, yet leaves an echo that never fades. She once said that if she could make someone laugh or move them to think, she had done her job. By that measure, she didn't just succeed, she triumphed. For generations, she made us laugh until our hearts were light, and she made us reflect on ourselves with tenderness. She gave us laughter as an art form, not as distraction, but as understanding. And that's what makes Patricia Routledge's legacy eternal. It lives not just in the performances she left behind, but in the feelings she gave us, that beautiful sense of connection that only the greatest artists can create. Her laughter was music, her timing poetry, her presence unforgettable. She showed the world that comedy and compassion can exist in perfect harmony. Today, we remember Patricia Routledge not just as an actress or comedian, but as an artist who elevated everyday life into something extraordinary. She was, and always will be, a symbol of grace, humor, and humanity. Her light continues to shine through every rerun, every clip, every fond memory that fans share. She didn't just entertain, she enriched. She made us laugh, yes, but more importantly, she made us feel seen. And that, truly, is the greatest gift any artist can give. Thank you for watching and joining us in celebrating the legacy of Patricia Routledge, a woman who taught us that laughter can be elegant, that art can be humble, and that greatness can be quiet but everlasting. If her story touched you, if her performances ever made you laugh, think, or feel, then take a moment to honor her. Like this video, share it with someone who loves her work, and don't forget to subscribe for more tributes celebrating the legends who changed our world through art, emotion, and truth. Because Patricia Routledge's life reminds us that true greatness never fades. It lingers, it inspires, and it continues to make the world smile.